Hey, I'm still here at Gold's, of course, land of all the animals. This is where we all train. All the freaks are here, and I'm here talking with Steve. And Steve's an older guy. He's still a young guy by my, by comparison to myself, who's I'm 52 now. I'll be 53 this year. But Steve is an older guy. So for you older
45.
guys out there, he's 45, and as you can see, he looks awesome. He didn't always look like this, and he's getting ready to do the nationals. So, Steve, tell us a little bit about your training. What you're up to.
Well, right now I'm 9 weeks out as of yesterday from Masters Nationals, and the reason I've competed in only 3 other competitions. I started in 2012 training like a bodybuilder, and then a friend of mine, not really a dare, but we were talking. I'm like, I could never get up on stage, and because I love training. I wanted to eat right. I wanted to look good. But I'm like, I could never get up there and that banana hammock in front of these people. And his name's Steve Miller. He actually trains at the other Golds. And he said, but you'll never know what you really have until you strip all that fat and water off your body. And that appealed to me. It was kind of like a challenge. Like when I went in the Marine Corps, and it was like, I got to do it. So I decided to do a competition for just to do it. Well, then in 2013, I competed in the New Jersey State. Was my first, and that one I placed top 5 in 3 classes, but it was like 2 fourths and a third. Nothing exciting. I pulled too much water, and then second one was the PA States a week later. I was 11 pounds heavier, a little bit more water, and I got first class. It was first place in the Super Classic, and the Super State, and then novice overall win, and second in Masters, so I felt pretty good.
Yeah, that's impressive as hell. It's really impressive.
And so, well, then I decided I went on vacation to Mexico, had a great time. Drank beer, did all that what you do on vacation. Came back, and I was still lean after my contest rebound where I put on 20 pounds of water and I lost that. And then the Harrisburg Brandywine Cup NPC came, and I'm like, you know what? I'm still in good shape. I'm going to do that. So 9 days before that one, I said I'm going to do another one. I got second in the Super Heavy and second in the Masters on that, but I have, still decent placing for kind of last minute. But that one was kind of more for fun. But so I took a year and a half because I wanted to be bigger. I said, at my height, I need to fill out more. So I was about competing at that time at about my first one was 218. I was most comfortable 227, 229. But I wanted to be like 240. At 6'1", you want to be,
Right.
you want to fill out. So it took a year and a half to put size on. Got up to like 302 at my heaviest, and it was uncomfortable. But I persevered, walked around at like 290, 295 for a long time. And then started dieting in February for Masters Nationals. So here I am. But it's been a journey. It's hard, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the journey. So.
And you guys that are watching this, that are older guys in your 40s or might have just turned 40, and you're thinking, yeah, but these 2 guys, there's no way I can look like that. What were you looking like at 40?
I looked terrible. I mean, it was. I had been physical all my life, but I had taken like 2 years of basically doing nothing but unhealthy habits. Pretty much just drinking a lot of beer, eating a lot of barbecue, just working, not really doing anything, and it was bad. And I was like, man, I got to get back into some kind of shape here. And that was 5 years.
From 5 years ago, 5 years before you started on this trek, you were, would it be fair to say you were a fat guy?
I was what they call skinny fat. I was like a straight up and down, like just, I was like a 36, 38 waist, but my shoulders were like, it looked straight up and down, and I had like no muscle tone whatsoever. It looked like I hadn't lifted a weight my entire life. So, but your muscle has memory, so if you have trained before, it knows how to come back, and it'll remember what you look like. But even if you haven't trained, still not too late to start training. And I think though, as an older guy, and I think you'll agree, you don't train the same as you do when you're 20 and you're
Absolutely.
and you're just doing crazy, silly things that are going to kill your joints because you have all that other stuff to worry about, connective tissues and your heart. So you start supplementing differently, taking your CoQ10 and all that good stuff for your heart, your fish oils and all that, and you just got to start taking care of the insides and everything else. And if you do that, you can live a long time. I think you can look good until, well, even past your age, but you look great. So.
Well, thanks. I'm not that much right now, but I'm a lazy fuck. And I like to eat a lot of crap, but I'm getting ready to change that. But is there any advice you would give to older guys, any kind of particular thing, diet-wise, or what's really important, or how has this training impacted your quality of life?
I have so much right now, like I'm constantly going, like I have tons of energy because, I just went to the doctor the other day to have a little surgery done, a little minor surgery on my back, just getting something removed, and when I went there, he did my blood pressure was perfect, 120/80, and my pulse was like 56, and I'm doing an hour cardio fasted every morning, and I mean 7 days a week, and I think that's really super important, and that's the one thing to me. I know a lot of guys are like real big into cardio. Everybody's different. I'm not saying it doesn't work. Honestly, I think cardio for your health, if nothing else. If you want to do it for looks, obviously that's important too. But the thing about cardio is, I think as a complete bodybuilder, you got to include something. If you want to say you're a bodybuilder, you got to include, diet, training are equally, I think, because one doesn't work without the other as well. And then you got to throw cardio in there at some level. And then supplementation is the least. Everybody's talking about what they're taking and they're going to do this and that. And to these young guys, I'm like, guys, it doesn't matter what you take. It's all about what you eat. If you don't give your body the right nutrients, it doesn't matter what supplements you're taking. You're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. You're not going to look the way you want. You're not going to lean out because they're like, well, I'm going to take this and it's going to lean me out. And I'm like, no, it's not. Not if you're not doing your cardio, you're not eating right. So whether you're 45, 52, or 22, I know when you're 22, your metabolism's through the roof and you can eat whatever you want, but that'll change. Yeah. So, cardio is, I think, something that everybody should implement to some degree.
And what he's saying about the supplementation, you guys that have watched any of my videos, you know that's where I'm coming from. 100% agreement there. And isn't it funny that every time you see a guy that has like a really drastic level of conditioning or a really abnormal physique, abnormally nice physique, or a lot of muscle mass, or is just ripped to shreds, every time we always tell you, it's not the supplementation that does it. It's not the supplementation that's most important. It's least important. It's there, and especially as an older athlete, I can tell you for myself, it's there, but it's absolutely not the be-all, end-all. It's not what makes it happen. It's the details that you do, that anybody can do. It's the diet and the nutrition, and of course the cardio. I'm getting ready to crank my cardio up Monday morning. And so you see, here's another guy, looks fantastic, absolutely incredible for any age, who's 45, and he's telling you the same thing. But we must all be lying because we want to keep the secret amongst ourselves and not share it with the world. And another guy's just telling you, quality of life, it's where it is. So if you're an older guy, man, this is it. Is there anything else, anything you can tell to an older guy watching this that thinks that he's too far gone or that he's too intimidated to come into a gym? I know this gym's full of fucking animals and monsters. But in my opinion, this is a place to be because we've all been the little fat guy or little skinny guy, weren't happy with the way we look, just like you. And that's why we look like this now. We weren't born this way. We dropped out of the womb like this. Is there anything you can tell these people to motivate them, to get them to come to the gym and not be intimidated or afraid? If a guy wanted to ask you a question, he saw you and thought you look awesome, and he thinks he can't look like that ever. Can he ask you something? Are you approachable, or are you going to scream if he bothers you?
No, absolutely not. I'm very focused when I'm training. Normally I'm moving so fast people don't stop me, but I have had people stop me, and I'm always as long as they're respectful and polite to me, I'm and just genuinely interested in what they're asking me, and I can tell they're serious about it. That's another thing. If you want to come in here, and I see a lot of guys that have been coming in here for years that do a lot more talking than they do training, and maybe that's their social life, and this is where they go instead of the bar, and I guess that's a better option for them. But to me, the message I would give you is, when you decide you want something, if you decide you want to look good, there's no, you can't go at it half-assed. You gotta like get it. If you don't know how to eat, find someone who knows how to eat. That's what I did, and pay them. I think if you pay someone, you're more vested in it. You're gonna, and plus I've learned a ton from my coach. I've been working with him for 2.5 years. I mean, he's well-known bodybuilder in Delaware. He missed his pro card. Like he's like the, he's very knowledgeable. I don't, can I mention his name?
Yeah, absolutely.
His name's Dave Pulcinella. He's on YouTube and stuff. The 6 Foods That Work guy. You might have heard of. Some people heard him. He's kind of got quite a cult following for the 6 food thing, and also the raising the bar.
I know him. I used to do it at Cecil County. I know a lot of guys in Delaware.
Yeah. So he's my coach, and he taught me so much, and I listened to that. But if you don't know how to eat, find someone who does. That's so important. And if you don't, but go at it like, and if you don't have to spend tons and tons of money doing it, but maybe do your research. Look up online, but go at it and don't take shortcuts and think that to give up after a month because you don't look like this or that. You don't give up. Say, well, I'm not jacked yet. I'm not jacked. So you really need to be patient because it takes years. This is 5 years. This is not 5 months. This is not 5 weeks. This is 5 years. So, and it's 5 years of hard work. So don't be afraid to go at it but you got to commit. You got to decide if that's what you really want to do. And once you get into it, you're going to be hooked. And that's what separates guys like us from young guys.
So we want you guys to come in the gym.
Yeah.
We want you to do something to improve your quality of life. It's your body. You're going to have that body's going to last you the rest of your life. So it's up to you. It's the one thing that you actually can decide on. It's not really based on income. It can be expensive. It doesn't have to be. There's ways to do things on the cheap. And you can actually, you want to drive a Ferrari? You want to live in that? Do it. Go for it. Or you want to drive around in an old beater. If you're happy that way, God bless you. There's no right and wrong about it. But if you're unhappy, you don't have to be. And that's the whole message to these videos. Everybody comes from somewhere, and somebody along the way you're going to be able to relate to. So what's it going to take? Get off your butt and get in the gym. In closing, you got anything else you can?
And just remember, I think it's important too that you can be a bodybuilder and not compete. I mean, that's what a lot of people are. But the lifestyle people think is unhealthy. It's not an unhealthy lifestyle. I mean, it's let me think. Eating healthy foods, eating clean foods, doing cardio, weight training, supplementation. I don't think that I know as long as you're getting regular checkups from your doctor and full spectrum blood work, all that stuff, and you're good, looks good. I think it's a very healthy option and it keeps you young.
What about water? I see you carrying water around with you. How important?
Huge important for a lot of reasons. Number one, if you're supplementing, you want to keep it helps your kidneys. You got to keep that water moving through. Another thing is for look reason, if you don't want to hold water, you got to drink more water. So if you're holding water, you're swelled up a lot. Your ankles look like pregnant ladies, it could be because you're not getting enough water. And people want to take diuretics, they want to take shortcuts. Probably their water intake, that's what they should look at first. And if their water intake is there and their diet's on point and they're still holding water, they need to see a doctor. So, but I think water is a huge thing just to keep everything filtering through and just keeping you healthy. You can't survive without it. You can survive without explode. I've found that.
Oh, Lord. All right. Well, it's been awesome. Thank you very much for taking time to talk to us.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
And so there you have it. So come on, what's it going to take? Come on in the gym and just make it happen, man. None of us fell out of the womb looking like this. You can do it. Get in the gym and get started.